What's going on, guys? Bringing another trade video today. Look at the most recent trade in the NHL, and this one's a blockbuster. Philadelphia Flyers trading Robert Hagg, their 2021 first-round pick, which is 14th overall, as well as a 2023 second for Rasmus Ristolainen. So a huge trade happens there. And honestly, guys, the Flyers aren't just giving up Hagg a first and a second for Ristolainen. They also traded away Gostisbehere to clear up the cap space to get him, and they had to pay the Coyotes a second and a 7th-round pick to make this trade happen. So really, they traded Gostisbehere, a first, 2 seconds, and a 7th to get Rasmus Ristolainen. So the first thing we're actually going to do here is do the Gostisbehere trade. I never made a video on it because it's kind of tough to make a video on a trade where you get nothing in return. I'll offer them our 2022 second, which you can see in game, quite a bit of value, 2022 7th, and Shane Gostisbehere, where is he? He should have like a decent amount of value in this. Yeah, 27.83. So Arizona there is getting a lot in return. They actually can't take on his contract, so we'll take back like the cheapest AHL dude. Yeah, we'll do this gross dude. No way Arizona says no to that. Of course they're gonna say yes, because Gostisbehere really isn't that much of a cap dump in this game, and even in real life he's not really that much of a cap dump. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with analytics, WAR at all, but it's basically wins above replacement. How many more wins in the season does this player give your team than an average player? And Gostisbehere is in the top 60% of the league, whereas Ristolainen is bottom 3%. Like, Gostisbehere 1-for-1, you know, looking at the analytics, is a better D-man than Ristolainen. Now, Ristolainen has been on a very bad Sabres team, but still, I think the price the Flyers paid here was extravagant to get Ristolainen, which is really surprising to me, as they just made such a good trade, I thought, for Ryan Ellis, giving up Nolan Patrick, who, you know, looking like a bit of a bust. Philip Myers, Ellis is much better defenseman. Then they kind of turn around and do this. So you can see Myers is still on the team. The Ellis trade hasn't gone through here, as I'm actually using EA's rosters, as I feel like that's what people want to see for these trade sims, not mine. So 2021 first round pick, tons of value, and then it's a 2023 second round pick there in exchange for Rasmus Ristolainen. You can see in game here, 25 years old, 86 overall, making 5.4 for 2 more years. Really, there's only 1 more year left on his contract, so he could walk in free agency, which 1 year Ristolainen for a first, a second, Hagg, and then really Gostisbehere a second and a 7th if he does walk, because like I said, they made that trade basically to get the cap to sign him. They still have about $10 million, but they need to use that for both Travis Sanheim and Carter Hart. If they get about $5 million each, that's kind of the Flyers cap space all locked up. So Ristolainen's like a good offensive defenseman. You can see he puts up points, but it's just defensively. You can see he's always a dash player. His defensive analytics aren't good. He's like an all kind of offense guy. And now EA has him as a 2-way defender. I'd made sure to change him to an offensive defenseman. Medium elite, I think I made him like 83 low elite for context, but even still with EA rosters, Hagg a first and a second for Ristolainen. I think Buffalo has to say yes here, but let's find out. Yeah, they do say yes. Okay, so even with EA overvaluing Ristolainen, they still feel like Buffalo won this trade against Philadelphia, so quite telling. So after that trade, guys, just an update look at the Flyers roster. In regards to the forward lines, I'm just kind of doing my best guess, but still, the top 9 there is very, very solid. They haven't lost anybody from it. I was worried, of course, Seattle might take Voracek or JVR. That was not the case. 4th line maybe used a bit of work, but it's still not too bad. And then defensively, Ellis is definitely a big upgrade. Ristolainen, some people think it's an upgrade. Other people think it's a downgrade. I think it's probably like a lateral move, which is why I still think they give up way too many assets to not really get much better. Sanheim there, of course, they need to get under contract. Prosser there is actually just a placeholder for Cam York, who I think will make the team next year. He actually won Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year playing for Michigan. Looked very good in college the last couple seasons. I think he finally makes the jump. That's probably the spot they have for him. Going to limit his ice time, shelter him a bit, and they'll play him with a solid defensive defenseman in Braun, since York's pretty offensive. So, I mean, bringing in York, Ristolainen, and Ellis, half their defense is new. It should be an upgrade overall. Goaltending-wise, of course, Hart has to return to form. Can't play like he did last season, but if he does, I think the Flyers should have a really good chance to make the playoffs. But, of course, they're in a tough Metropolitan division, so anything can happen. Give you guys your first look here at Ristolainen as a Philadelphia Flyer. Of course, a big defenseman like 6'5". His game base is actually pretty good there. Number 55, Rasmus Ristolainen. So, the new and improved Flyers defense, what do you guys think about it? Let me know in the comments. And next year, we're going to try the trade from Buffalo's perspective. So like I was saying, guys, we're not trying to trade from the Sabres perspective. One thing I forgot to mention, Robert Hagg here. He's a 78 overall D-man, 25 years old, so still relatively young, low top 6 potential. I think in my rosters, he's a 79 or 80 with medium top 6. I think he's proven, you know, he's at least a bomb-paying defense in the NHL. So the Buffalo Sabres aren't really getting much back in terms of him other than a body, but The first and second round pick for Ristolainen is huge. The Flyers do want him. Now, because they haven't traded away Gostisbehere on their side, I have to retain $1 million. Even still, looking at the trade values, I doubt the Flyers say yes to this, but who knows. Again, these are on medium difficulty. Trade is rejected. Yeah, so I kind of figured that. I'll just kind of take a look at the Sabres roster after the trade. We'll do that there, and I'll see how that Sabres decor is looking. So after the trade, guys, should update a look at the Buffalo roster. I feel like the forward group, it's almost not worth looking at because good chance Eichel won't be there to start the season. Reinhart might not even be there. I've heard, they could try and dump Okposo, maybe even buy him out. So that forward group's going to look completely different. I think the only one safe to stay is Cousins, probably Olofsson. Defensively, Dahlin, Miller's now the top pair. I really thought Seattle would take Miller over Borgen. Jokiharju, McCabe's the second pair. McCabe, I know, got injured this season, but I think he should be ready for the start next season. And then Irwin Hagg on the bottom pair. Goaltending-wise, Allmark and Hutton. I mean, they do have the first overall pick. But even if they take Owen Power, he said he's probably going to return to college. So I don't know if he's going to be in the NHL next season. Very interested to see what they do with the number 14 pick. There's a lot of different names they could go for. I think the draft tonight should be very exciting. By the way, guys, I'm actually going to be streaming the draft on YouTube, so make sure to stay tuned for that. But that's it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section which team you think won the trade. And as always, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the sub button. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.